Hi, I'm Martijn. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. This is a drum lesson for beginner drummers based on my drum method book Drummers of the Future Beginner. More precisely, I'm going to talk about the exercises of chapter 3.3 on page 23. But don't worry, even if you don't have the book yet, you will be perfectly able to follow. Because we will be talking about playing drum fills and how to be creative when applying them to the drum set, how to orchestrate them around the kit. And to give you a sneak preview, this is how it should sound in the end. Okay, let's have a look at the first exercise. As you can see, this drum fill consists of only 8 notes. And you probably know that 8 notes should be counted as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So nice and easy. But you're also probably noticing some interesting things about this particular drum fill. First of all, the notes are looking a bit weird, and that's because these are not regular notes but so-called rhythm slashes. And that means that the rhythm is already fixed, so in this case you have to play 8 notes, but on which surface, on which drum you will play these notes, that's up to you. Also, please note there are 2 bass drums on the 3 and the 3 and in this particular fill you have to play these bass drums. And finally, be aware of the sticking. The sticking is fixed. You have to play right, left at all times. Let's start by playing all the rhythm slashes just on the snare drum. That would sound like this. So, right, left, kick, kick, right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once again. 3, 4. In context, so with a 1-bar drum groove starting with a crash cymbal, it would sound like this. Whoa, that sounds pretty cool already. Now, a typical way of orchestrating 8-note drum fill is to orchestrate it around the drum kit. But in this particular case we have to skip the mid-tom because we have to play our 2 bass drums. But if you don't want to skip the mid-tom, then you might want to skip the high tom, so you can play the mid-tom. Or if you don't want to skip your toms at all, then maybe you can start on the high tom and skip your snare. So I'm just saying you can already play quite some variations. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially with beginner drum fills, it's common to play all the fills clockwise. So start with the snare drum and then work all your way around until you reach the floor tom. But there's no rule that you should do it like this. So let's have a look at some other possibilities. What if we would play our fill counterclockwise? So start on the floor tom. That would sound like this. And now I have to skip my high tom because of the fixed bass drums. But if I don't want to skip my high tom, let's say I want to skip the mid tom, that would sound like this. Or play no snare drum at all. Play only toms. Yeah, well, it sounds different, but it's very usable in a song, I guess. Okay, in context, that would sound like this. Until now, we only played a drum per beat. And by that I mean we always played 2 hits on each drum. But again, there's no rule that you should do it like this. What if we could play only once on a drum? That would give us a lot more options, a lot more creativity, and we could make all kinds of combinations. So what about this one? That's still right, left, kick, kick, right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's do the same thing, but counterclockwise. 3, 4. Or just let's go a little bit crazy, like this. In context, that would sound like this. Okay, for the final part, do you remember what I said about the fixed sticking, right, left? Well, forget about it, because I want to add double hits. A double hit is when you play 2 drums simultaneously, so the snare and the floor tom played together, for example. That should sound like this. 3, 4. It's a nice build-up. Or another variation would be something like this. 3, 4. And if I would combine this with the previous things we've discussed, then you will get maybe something like this. 3, 4. By now you probably got the hang of it. Just remember, when it comes to playing drum fills and orchestrating them around the drum kit, there is no right or wrong. It's all about your own imagination and your own creativity. However, there is something like a good sounding fill or a not so good sounding fill, and that's something for you to find out yourself. You will notice that not every combination or orchestration will work. Not everything sounds good together, and it's the way of exploring and developing your own personal style to find out which fills will work for you and which fills won't work for you. Let me finish this video by playing some examples of drum fills we've discussed in this video lesson, and hopefully I can inspire you. There we go. Well, that's all for now. This whole video lesson was based on a single exercise from my book Drummers of the Future Beginner. Please check the new dedicated YouTube channel for many more free video tutorials, and don't forget to subscribe. If you are interested in the book itself, make sure to download the free promo PDF. Download links are in the video description or on my website. Okay, I am DrummerMartijn. Thanks for watching. Bye.